Today, as we celebrate All Saints Day and All Souls Day and the life of Lance, the only image that I have in my head when I was just trying to get ready, make sure, that's why I said to the image that I have in my mind was that last hospital bed. Those of you that visited Lance on his last stretch here on earth, and hospice and all that kind of stuff. But when I left that, I left comforted. I was supposed to be the pastoral care guy, but he did pastoral care with me. So when I made that phone call to my wife, she said, "Isn't that the saint's job? Isn't that the job that we all are supposed to do in this life? When we embody what we say we believe, when we actually get in our flesh and bones that we are in this life in a field trip, because this is not home. And we are supposed to make the joy of Jesus Christ and the joy of God to everybody that we encounter. Isn't that our job?" And I remember when I walked in and I looked at him, of course, he was okay, pale, all that kind of stuff, but with a big smile, and he says, like, "I'm having a good time, no pain." That was the first word, no pain. And of course, some of us were a little bit skeptical if that was actually the truth, because the situation, right? But even though, and this is the comparison, that's why I have these vestments out today. Even though he might be hurting, he wanted to hide it so well so Alice and nobody else that went into that room felt bad. And that's why of ministry was in that hospital bed. When we received the call that he passed, I drove from Smyrna all the way to Athens to be in that room. And it happens, I don't know how this happened, but I was before Alice arrived and Miss Kathy Ash. And I had the opportunity with, and then I had 3 nurses that stopped by to see if I was okay. And they were checking to see if Ali has arrived at the moment. And the first thing that I said, like, "How you doing?" Because I know that they do that, day in and day out. That my hospital chaplain hat kick in. "How you doing?" And she said, like, "This is the most wonderful patient I ever had in a while." Just giving joy to them in their hard job, because in that area of the hospital, you see this happening every single day. And especially when you are a caregiver in a hospital setting and you see that person dying with no family members, that many happens to going through, is very hard. So that's why I was checking on the nurses. But they told me, "Oh, he was very pleasant. I was getting over here and lift me up. He was a smile. He told me that everything was gonna be fine." So, and that's pretty much what that experience of All Saints means. The reason that I love, and this my regular parishioners know, you're part of the family now, so you're hooked. They know that one of the things that I love is this. Funerals is one of my favorite things to do. The reason is because this is in our earthly life that we are completely looking at the good things and the all the contributions that that person right? Because we can see the reason of our humanity. We can see that we are in the presence of, like the day we celebrate, all saints. All the saints were not just people that, were born with a gift to be saints and walk, No, there were people that actually, use the bathroom like you and I do. There were people that had the opportunity to mess it up very big, but they have also the opportunity to bring the mission, to bring a smile, to always be present for family and for others. I'm sure if we have, many of the campers that came to Alice and Lance Scare during their time, they will have probably a lot of stories too. Because I don't know what it's about camping. I love camping. I'll always know that I do. I have my RV too, so I do that. So I don't know what's going on, but when you get to that space, it's a different world. Everybody becomes family. You can not know each other, and then suddenly you have the best conversations with a camper, probably close to a fire. That's the idea, to refresh, to renew. And a day like today, that we come to celebrate the life of Lance, and we can just, like Larry said, we couldn't, allow him to go without no noise. We had to make a little noise for him. So today, as we continue our celebration, and we are thankful for Lance's life, for all those years that he was with us here in San Antonio, all those years that he was in his military service, in all his jobs, that the little job that Larry just mentioned pretty much kept a lot of people alive, making sure that they have the correct amount of oxygen and other stuff inside that ship before they come and get that. So it was a person that traveled many places, making sure that people were safe, from the military service. So even here in San Antonio, when he stands back there and then he goes, you know what we should do? And giving me advice always of things that we should move things forward. For that, we are always thankful. And of course, today we also remember all those that are no longer with us. An image. When I was probably 10 years old, that was the first time that I thought about becoming a priest. And I remember I was in an old cathedral in Puerto Rico, and the cathedral happens to have like stained glass at the bottom, but they have a second set of windows that were completely clear, right? And I remember the bishop that day. That was probably one of the first times that I served as a altar boy, right? And I remember the bishop preaching that people always asking why he did not ask to have stained glass windows on the top. And he said, no, because I want the heavenly church to look through the windows to all of us, because they're here with us celebrating. And that image I always had in my head. I know for sure that Lan is right now just looking at us saying, wow, I was just the excuse to get them all together in one place. To celebrate, yes, his life, but to celebrate Christianity, celebrate friendship, celebrate all saints. To thank Lance today for getting it all together, and especially during this world that is going through many turmoils and wars, and our political season that is, off the chains, that give you too much stress. And today, let's thank that we can sit down. We heard the word. We thank Lance for his presence, and then we can enjoy some food afterwards. So may God continue to bless us and protect us as we continue in this life, our journey in this, our field trip, until the day that we will go back home to be united with Lance and all the saints that we wrote in our petitions today. Amen.